Thousands of homes destroyed, damage estimates in the billions, but we still don't know what caused the deadly and devastating Palisades fire. Tonight, the closest look yet at the origins of the inferno. The ATF confirms to KTLA their agents are working 250 leads and scouring through more than 90 hours of video and audio. Mary Beth McDade has a closer look at the investigation from the scorched slope where the fire began.
For the first time since the fires erupted, KTLA cameras are able to show you where the fire started, no longer cordoned off by law enforcement. Orange ribbons dot the landscape where ATF agents searched for clues. One pan of the camera, you can see just how close the homes are to what would become the origin of the Palisades fire.
It's pushing directly towards the Palisades. We probably have an impact time in the structures being threatened that's under 20 minutes.
First, smoke.
Okay, this thing's got a really big head of steam.
Then flames billowed into the blue sky on January 7th.
Medium to heavy brush with about a 40-mile-an-hour wind blowing towards the ocean.
Within minutes, firefighters' radio traffic crackled.
I've ordered 20 additional 463 Roger, construction dispatch from El Drive on board leaving the area.
The same ridgeline where a fire called the Lockman Fire erupted 6 days prior on New Year's Eve.
The foot of the fire started real close to where the last fire was on New Year's Eve.
The Madre fire started around 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon. It has burned more than 35,000 acres in the Los Padres National Forest. CAL FIRE says it's 5% contained this morning. The fire is in a remote area between the Central Coast and the Central Valley. It's near State Route 166, which connects the Central Coast to the southern San Joaquin Valley. Smoke from that fire has drifted into Santa Barbara and Ventura counties. The cause is unknown. There hasn't been any damage to structures.
Now to a developing story. Wildfires continue to challenge crews in western North Carolina.
The State Forest Service is struggling to contain 3 massive fires burning in Polk County. The Black Cove, Deep Woods, and Fish Hook fires flared up late last week, and they've spread to more than 4,000 acres combined. The Red Team with the North Carolina Forest Service is managing efforts to get those fires out. Evacuation orders have been issued for people impacted by the Black Cove fire. Right now, that fire is 0% contained.
Tonight, Canada is putting out a call for help to battle massive preseason wildfires. Over 180 fires are burning right now, 90 of them out of control. Thousands have been evacuated.
The United States has just been rocked by 4 1-in-1,000-year rainfall events in less than a week. First, there was catastrophic flooding in Texas. Days later, Tropical Storm Chantal drenched parts of North Carolina, causing major flooding there. And then on Tuesday, rain pummeled New Mexico, causing devastating flash flooding and deadly flash flooding. And in Chicago that same day, 5 inches of rain fell in only 90 minutes, prompting multiple rescues. Now, all those areas are thought to have a roughly 0.1% chance of this major flooding happening in any given year. Officials at the nonprofit organization Climate Central say to see this many historic and record-breaking events over the course of 1 week is alarming.
The U.S. has been rocked by 4 1-in-1,000-year rainfall events in less than a week. Chris joins us right now to explain. Chris.
I don't think I've heard that sentence in all of my career of 15 years. 4 1-in-1,000-year rainfall events. That is crazy to have in 1 week, because there's events like Matthew, as we know here in the Carolinas, Florence. Those were 1-in-1,000-year rainfall events. Helene. But to have me surrounded here, that would happen from July 3rd through the middle of this week, this is insane.
We've seen twice as much rain in the last few months in central Ohio than in all of last summer and fall. The reason is a stagnant weather pattern with extreme moisture. The eastern half of the country has been hit by multiple historic rainfall events this month, setting a new annual record with more than 3,000 flash flood warnings this year, and it's only late July. Catastrophic flooding on July 4th took at least 135 lives, with scores still missing after 10 to 20 inches of rain poured on the south central Texas hill country. Rescuers have been hampered by repeated rounds of heavy rain in the past several weeks. The July 4th holiday weekend also brought deadly flooding in North Carolina from Tropical Storm Chantal, which drenched parts of the Raleigh-Durham area with up to a foot of rain. Severe flooding claimed 6 lives. 4 days later, flash flooding swept a burn scar in southern New Mexico created by the South Fork wildfire last year, triggering flash flooding that took 3 lives. That same day, more than 5 inches of rain fell on parts of the Chicago area, swamping neighborhoods, and portions of New Jersey and Pennsylvania with up to 6 inches of rain, flooding subways and submerging neighborhoods. Wednesday night, 4 to 8 inches of rain hit the Kansas City area, and then locally we saw how an extremely wet atmosphere can turn a band of showers into torrential downpours. 4 inches fell at Buckeye Lake in 70 minutes, sending water into the first floor of several homes. A recent study shows that most cities across the country are experiencing more frequent heavy rain events than ever before. Local for you meteorologist Ben Gelber, NBC4.
This morning, oppressive heat and humidity, making for a midsummer nightmare for millions of Americans.
It is going to be sweltering out there with the high temperatures and the high humidity.
That 1-2 punch producing triple-digit temps from Kansas to Mississippi, with some places with heat up to 112 degrees.
It is enormously hot. When I looked on the car, it said 101 degrees.
More than 60 million people are under heat alerts. And Climate Central finds that now nearly half of the U.S. population is at least 3 times more likely to experience extreme heat due to climate change.
Wear hats, wear sunblock, make sure that you wear light clothing as opposed to darker clothing, and also look for shade.
And heat isn't the only threat.
Yeah, this is bad.
Torrential rain and fast-moving floodwaters killed a 62-year-old woman in Overland Park, Kansas, police say.
I don't know how fast the current was going, but it was fast. Like, that would be hard for a grown man, let alone a small, older woman to handle.
Prompting daring boat rescues like this one in Kansas City, where crews managed to reach this woman just in time. As some work to stay dry and others to keep cool amid this July fry.
Also, the water helps, so the kids can play, have fun.
More than 95 million Americans are under heat alerts through this Friday as a major heat dome slowly expands across the country. Heat index values are expected to hit 100 degrees and higher in some areas.
Seeking respite under the shade, residents in the Iranian capital continue to sweat through a heat wave. In Tehran, maximum temperatures will sit stubbornly in the high 30s for at least the next week. And aggravating the situation, locals have reported cuts to the water supply that last several hours a day.
We haven't had water for 10 days now. Our whole life has basically fallen apart. It's really hard. If this lack of water continues like they say, then there'll be nothing left. No trees, no greenery, not even a way to go on living.
People are unable to carry out their daily routines properly. Their activities decrease as they're forced to stay home more.
On Wednesday, government offices in about half of Iran's provinces closed in a bid to save water and electricity, and authorities have asked Iranians to try to limit their consumption too.
At least 30 people have died in severe flooding on the outskirts of Beijing. The worst hit areas have been in the mountains near the Chinese capital. Around 130 villages are without electricity. 80,000 people have already been moved to safer locations. The rain triggered landslides, bursting riverbanks and washing away cars. 41 rivers across China are reported to have flooded.